Power. It is one of the most discussed yet least understood forces in human life. We all feel its presence, whether in our personal relationships, in the workplace, or in the larger world of politics and society. Yet few of us are truly taught how power works, how to recognize it, or how to navigate it effectively. The truth is, the rules of power are often hidden, unspoken, and sometimes even deliberately kept secret. These are the laws of power they don't teach you. To understand these laws, we must turn to one of history's greatest students of power, Niccolo Machiavelli. Born in the Renaissance era, Machiavelli was a diplomat, a politician, and a keen observer of human nature. His name has become synonymous with political cunning and ruthless strategy. But his insights go deeper than just manipulation or cruelty. He teaches us about power as it truly exists, messy, complex, and often uncomfortable. Machiavelli wrote during a time of chaos and instability in Italy. City-states were fighting for control, alliances were fragile, and betrayal was common. In this world, survival often depended on understanding how power works, not just on ideals or good intentions. His famous book, The Prince, is often misunderstood as a manual for tyranny. But it is much more than that. It is a guide to realism, to seeing the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. The first law of power that Machiavelli teaches is that power is not given, it is taken. Power does not wait politely for us to claim it. It is not a reward for being good or kind or moral. Power is something you must seize, often through bold action and calculated risk. This may sound harsh or unfair, but it is a practical truth. Those who wait passively often lose out to those who act decisively. Machiavelli warns us that hesitation is the enemy of power. When you hesitate, others will move ahead of you. They will take the opportunities you leave behind. Power belongs to the swift and the bold. This does not mean acting recklessly or without thought. It means recognizing the moment when action is needed and moving with confidence. The world respects strength and decisiveness. The second law of power is to understand the nature of human beings. Machiavelli did not believe people are purely good or purely evil. He saw them as self-interested, often motivated by fear, desire, and the need for security. People want to be protected, they want to be respected, and they want to avoid pain. This understanding is essential for anyone who wants to gain or maintain power. For example, Machiavelli advises rulers to be both loved and feared, but if they cannot be both, it is better to be feared than loved. Why? Because fear is a more reliable motivator. Love is fragile and can change quickly. Fear creates respect and obedience that lasts. This does not mean rulers should be cruel for the sake of cruelty, but they must be willing to act firmly when necessary. Being too gentle can lead to weakness and loss of control. The third law is that appearances matter more than reality. In the game of power, perception often shapes outcomes more than actual truth. People judge based on what they see and hear, not on hidden intentions or facts. A leader who appears strong and confident will inspire loyalty, even if they have doubts or weaknesses behind the scenes. Conversely, a leader who appears weak or indecisive will lose support quickly. Machiavelli famously said that it is better for a prince to appear virtuous than to actually be virtuous. This is not an endorsement of dishonesty, but a recognition that public image is a tool of power. Managing how others see you can create opportunities and protect you from attacks. It requires careful attention to your actions, your words, and your symbols. This is a lesson that applies to all areas of life, not just politics. The fourth law is to know when to be flexible and when to be firm. Machiavelli observed that successful leaders are like both the lion and the fox. The lion uses strength to scare off threats, while the fox uses cunning to avoid traps. Power requires both force and subtlety. You must know when to stand your ground and when to adapt to changing circumstances. Flexibility means being able to change your tactics, your alliances, and even your beliefs when necessary. Rigidity leads to downfall, but firmness means having clear principles and boundaries that you will not cross. Without these, you become a puppet, controlled by others. Balancing these qualities is one of the most difficult but essential skills in wielding power. The fifth law is that power is fragile and must be maintained. Gaining power is only the first step. Keeping it requires constant attention, vigilance, and sometimes tough decisions. Machiavelli reminds us that enemies are always watching, waiting for a chance to strike. Complacency is dangerous. A leader must never become comfortable or overconfident. To maintain power, one must build alliances, reward loyalty, and neutralize threats. This does not always mean eliminating opponents, but sometimes including them, making them part of your circle so they have a stake in your success. Power is like a garden. It needs constant care and pruning. The sixth law is that cruelty and kindness are tools, not virtues. Machiavelli is often criticized for seeming to promote cruelty, but he saw cruelty as a necessary instrument when used wisely and sparingly. Kindness can also be a powerful tool to gain trust and loyalty. What matters is effectiveness. Actions should be judged by their results, not by moral labels. Machiavelli believed that a ruler who uses cruelty without purpose will lose power. But a ruler who uses cruelty decisively, quickly, and with clear goals can maintain order and respect. Similarly, kindness without strength can be seen as weakness. The wise leader knows when to use each tool. The seventh law is that power often involves deception. Honesty is a virtue in private life, but in the pursuit of power, deception is often necessary. Machiavelli advises rulers to appear honest, but to be prepared to deceive when it benefits their goals. This may sound cynical, but it reflects the complexity of human affairs. Trust must be earned and guarded, not given freely. This does not mean becoming a liar without conscience. It means understanding that truth and power are not always aligned. Sometimes bending the truth is required to protect yourself, your people, or your vision. The key is to balance honesty with prudence. The eighth law is that fortune favors the bold. Machiavelli believed in the role of chance in human affairs, but he also believed that fortune rewards those who take risks. Waiting for the perfect moment often means missing the moment altogether. Power belongs to those who act decisively even when the outcome is uncertain. This law encourages courage and action. It reminds us that even in a chaotic world, we have the power to shape our destiny. Taking initiative creates momentum. Hesitation kills it. Finally, the ninth law is that to hold power, one must understand timing. Knowing when to act, when to wait, and when to retreat is a critical skill. Power is like a game of chess where every move matters and every moment counts. Misjudging timing can lead to disaster. Machiavelli teaches us to observe carefully, to learn from experience, and to be patient. Power is not just about force, it is about wisdom. In conclusion, Machiavelli's laws of power challenge us to see the world clearly and act with courage and intelligence. They remind us that power is complex and sometimes uncomfortable, but it is a reality we must understand if we want to live fully and freely. The laws of power they don't teach you are not secrets for the ruthless alone. They are lessons for anyone who wishes to navigate life with strength, clarity, and purpose. As we continue exploring the laws of power that Machiavelli teaches, it is important to remember that power is not a goal in itself, but a means to achieve something greater. Power, when understood and used wisely, can protect, create, and transform. But to wield power effectively, we must understand not only the external rules, but also the internal mindset that supports it. The first step in this mindset is self-awareness. Machiavelli encourages us to know ourselves deeply, the strengths we have, the weaknesses we carry, and the fears that limit us. Without this honest self-knowledge, power can become a dangerous game where we are easily defeated by our own blind spots. Self-awareness allows us to act strategically, to plan ahead, and to avoid unnecessary risks. It helps us recognize when we are being used by others or when we are falling into patterns of weakness. Machiavelli believed that great leaders are those who do not deceive themselves. They face their flaws and learn how to work with or overcome them. Next, Machiavelli teaches the importance of managing relationships. Power rarely exists in isolation. It flows through connections with others. Friends, enemies, allies, and even strangers. Knowing how to navigate these relationships is a key to gaining and holding power. One important idea is to never rely too much on one person or group. Machiavelli warns that dependency creates vulnerability. Instead, cultivate a wide network of support and be ready to shift alliances if necessary. This does not mean betraying others lightly, but understanding that loyalty can be fragile and must be maintained with care. Machiavelli also highlights the role of reputation in power. Your reputation is like a shadow that follows you everywhere. It shapes how others see you before you even speak or act. A good reputation can open doors, protect you from attacks, and create respect. A bad reputation can close doors and make you a target. Building a strong reputation means acting consistently and with purpose. It means being aware of how your actions are perceived, even when you are not present. Sometimes reputation can be more powerful than actual deeds because it shapes expectations and influences behavior. Another key lesson is the value of unpredictability. Predictable leaders can be outmaneuvered. When others know exactly how you will act, they can plan against you. But when you are unpredictable, you keep others off balance. They hesitate, they doubt. This hesitation can give you the advantage. Unpredictability is not chaos. It is controlled flexibility. It means sometimes acting contrary to expectations, changing your tactics, or keeping your true intentions hidden. Machiavelli advises that wise leaders master this art to protect themselves and keep power. We must also explore Machiavelli's ideas about fear and respect in leadership. While fear can be useful, it is a double-edged sword. Too much fear can lead to hatred and rebellion. Too little can lead to disrespect and loss of control. Machiavelli's solution is to balance fear with respect and fairness. When people respect a leader, they are more willing to follow voluntarily. When fear is combined with justice and predictable consequences, it creates order without hatred. This balance is delicate and requires constant attention. Machiavelli also emphasizes the role of innovation and change in power. The world is always changing, and those who cling rigidly to old ways risk being left behind. To maintain power, leaders must be willing to innovate, to try new strategies, and to adapt to new circumstances. However, change must be managed carefully. Sudden or radical changes can create fear and resistance. The wise leader introduces change gradually, explaining its purpose and benefits and securing support before moving forward. This management of change is itself a form of power. Another important law is the use of symbols and rituals. Machiavelli understood that power is often communicated through images, ceremonies, and traditions. These symbols create a sense of order, authority, and belonging. They remind people of the leader's strength and legitimacy. Think of a king wearing a crown or a president delivering a speech. These are not just formalities, they are tools to reinforce power. Machiavelli encourages leaders to use symbols intentionally to strengthen their position. We should also consider Machiavelli's view on the role of cruelty and mercy. While sometimes cruelty is necessary to maintain order, overuse can destroy trust and support. Mercy, when shown wisely, can build loyalty and gratitude. The best leaders know when to apply each with precision. Machiavelli believed that cruelty should be swift, purposeful, and limited. Mercy should be genuine and strategic. This balance helps maintain power without creating unnecessary enemies. Finally, Machiavelli warns against complacency. Power is dynamic. It requires constant effort and vigilance. Leaders who rest on past successes or assume their position is secure often fall quickly. The world is full of challenges, rivals, shifting alliances, and unexpected events. To remain in power, one must always be learning, observing, and preparing. This ongoing effort is not easy, but it is necessary. In summary, the laws of power Machiavelli teaches go beyond simple tactics. They demand self-awareness, strategic relationships, reputation management, controlled unpredictability, balance of fear and respect, careful change management, symbolic communication, and constant vigilance. These laws are not just about politics or rulers. They apply to everyday life, to anyone who wants to move with strength and purpose in a complex world. In the next part, we will explore how these laws come to life in practice and how you can begin to apply them wisely and ethically in your own life. We will see that power, when understood and respected, can be a force for growth, creativity, and freedom. Now that we have explored the core laws and mindset of power according to Machiavelli, it is time to look at how these ideas can be applied in real life. Understanding power is one thing. Using it wisely is another. Machiavelli's teachings are not about ruthless domination, but about skillful navigation of the world as it is. The first practical step is to develop awareness of the power dynamics around you. Whether at work, in family, or social settings, power is always present. Sometimes it is obvious, sometimes it is hidden beneath polite words and smiles. Learning to read these dynamics requires observation and patience. Notice who influences decisions, who speaks and who listens, who has resources and who depends on others. These clues reveal where power lies and how it flows. With this knowledge, you can choose your actions more carefully. The second step is to build your own power base. This means creating connections and relationships that support your goals. It means gaining skills and resources that make you valuable and respected. Machiavelli reminds us that no one holds power alone. Even the most powerful leaders rely on networks of allies. Cultivating these relationships requires honesty, respect, and reciprocity. People respond to those who appreciate them and help them. But it also requires discernment, knowing who is trustworthy, who shares your values, and who might be a threat. The third step is to master your own image. As we discussed, perception often shapes reality in the realm of power. How you present yourself matters deeply. This doesn't mean being fake or dishonest, but being intentional. Think about your body language, your tone of voice, your appearance, and how you communicate. Small things can make a big difference. Confidence, calmness, and clarity create respect and influence. At the same time, guard your privacy. Machiavelli advises not to reveal all your plans or emotions. Keeping some things hidden protects you from attack and gives you strategic advantage. The fourth step is to practice flexibility. The world is unpredictable. Plans will change. People will surprise you. Being rigid makes you vulnerable. Being flexible allows you to adapt and stay ahead. This means being open to new ideas and willing to change tactics when needed. It also means knowing when to stand firm and when to yield. Machiavelli's lion and fox metaphor is a helpful reminder here. The fifth step is to balance kindness and firmness. Treat people fairly and with respect, but be clear about boundaries. Do not allow others to take advantage of you. Use kindness to build trust and cooperation. Use firmness to maintain order and respect. The sixth step is to develop courage. Machiavelli believed that fortune favors the bold. Taking action even when uncertain creates momentum. Fear of failure or rejection often holds people back. But power belongs to those who move forward despite fear. Courage also means accepting responsibility for your actions. It means facing the consequences and learning from mistakes. The seventh step is to be mindful of timing. Knowing when to act is as important as knowing what to do. Sometimes patience is the greatest strength. Waiting for the right moment can make all the difference between success and failure. This requires observation, experience, and sometimes intuition. Learn to read situations carefully and trust yourself. The eighth step is to embrace complexity. Power is not simple. It involves balancing competing interests, managing contradictions, and dealing with uncertainty. It is rarely black and white. Machiavelli's teachings invite us to embrace this complexity rather than seek easy answers. Wisdom comes from seeing shades of gray and acting accordingly. Finally, the ninth step is to reflect on your purpose. Why do you want power? For what goals? Power without purpose can become destructive or hollow, but power aligned with meaningful goals can create positive change. Machiavelli's insights remind us that power is a tool. How we use it matters deeply. It can be used to protect, to build, to create, or to dominate and destroy. As you apply these laws of power in your life, hold on to your values and your integrity. Let power serve your growth and your contribution, not just your ambition. In closing, Machiavelli's lessons on power are timeless because they speak to the realities of human nature and society. They ask us to be clear-eyed, courageous, and wise. The laws of power they don't teach you are not secrets for the few, but skills for anyone willing to learn. They are invitations to understand the world deeply and to move within it with strength and purpose. Remember, power is not about being ruthless or cruel. It is about being real. Real with yourself, real with others, real with the world. When you live this way, you become unstoppable. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Machiavelli's laws of power. May these lessons help you navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and strength.